We have probably about a couple of months before the pre-patch for Shadowlands launches, or at least that's my guess, okay? But there are still some goals for a lot of us to achieve in BFA before that pre-patch. Specifically, some people are pushing higher keys in Mythic Plus dungeons. Well, let's be honest with you, there is not that much else to do in the game right now. But I have personally discovered this mechanic, and yes, prepare to laugh at me, I discovered this mechanic of the obelisks, of Atal'dazar obelisks. I did not have to deal with them before because I never pushed Mythic Plus high enough. So if you're like me and you don't know exactly how they work, yet you want to start pushing obelisks higher, this video is for you. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am not pretending to be a Mythic Plus expert, but just wanted to share these recent learnings related to Atal'dazar's obelisks with you. First of all, huge thanks to my man Chewy, who I grouped up with randomly and who acted the whole way through my Mythic Plus run, as any amazing player should, in my opinion, being helpful and guiding the group for me, and giving me advice as a tank, specifically explaining what's going to happen. So credit to you, my friend, if you still subscribe to the channel and watching this video. People like you make Mythic Plus experience bearable for most of us casual players. In this video, we'll have a very quick look at the entropic spires of Ny'alotha, which is the official name for those obelisks, how they work, and why it's kinda critical that especially you as a tank know a lot about those. Because let's be honest, your groups, your Mythic Plus 10s are unlikely to have Chewy in it or someone else who will be patient enough and showing enough camaraderie for you to, get all the instructions on the spot. So first of all, my understanding is that obelisks show up as an additional affix in Mythic Plus towards the higher ranks of keys. And by higher ranks of keys, I'm gonna say 9 or 10. I am not exactly sure because, as I already said, I'm not a Mythic Plus expert. In short, and the easy part of this mechanic of obelisks that I heard about from somewhere else, is that these obelisks are scattered through the dungeon, and there appear to be 4 of them. At least there were 4 in Atal'dazar. Because I'm not an expert, I'm gonna speculate that there are always 4, but maybe that depends on the particular dungeon. I'm not 100% sure, and that's where I'm welcoming, guys, your comments in the section below this video. Technically speaking, these obelisks, they just stand there, and you could just go past and skip them completely. If you do that, however, each of the obelisks hides a mini-boss that will, if not killed, will join the fight with the final boss of the dungeon, without a shadow of a doubt overwhelming your group and you as a tank, as fighting basically 5 bosses at a time at the end of Mythic Plus 10 sounds completely and utterly ridiculous to me, so I don't wish that upon anyone. You have to kill those obelisk mini-bosses before engaging the end boss. That is the short of it. Here is what I didn't know, however, until this particular Mythic Plus 10 run and the advice received from Chewy. And this is probably the most important thing for you to learn. While these mini-bosses didn't feel like pushovers to me, far from it, the more important thing that they do is they put you into this shadow realm, right? When you're dealing with them, allowing you to walk past the normal mobs in the dungeon. Yeah? So you can skip a bunch of content that you don't want to deal with. And obviously when we are running through Mythic Plus, we want to ideally just go from the boss to the boss and deal with as little trash as possible, because trash is horrible. That's why it's called trash. So you as a tank need to learn and need to know where to go. Usually that is some form of an optimal path towards the next dungeon boss. So when you click on the obelisk and when you enter this shadow realm to fight the mini boss inside of it, you engage with the mini boss and you drag them, or kite them if you like, if you prefer to use that term. You kite that mini boss with you as close to as safely possible to your next destination. So you need to know where you want to kill them. So this path will most definitely be different from dungeon to dungeon, but the idea is that you need to expect that once that mini-boss is down, once you kill them, they need to be in a safe enough area because they'll spawn a shadow portal, allowing you to click on it again, just like you did on the obelisk at first, and you jump back out of this shadow realm to deal with whatever is outside once you've jumped out of it, yeah? So the footage in the background would hopefully add some sense to my explanation here, and once again, if you know how to explain this better or more succinctly, please use the comments down below. Yeah, please be my guest. I don't take it defensively, and I absolutely do not think that I know better, okay? So once again, to break down and summarize the logical chain of decisions that you as a tank would be expected to make. First of all, you need to know where the obelisks are, or you need to ask people to lead you towards those obelisks. Don't be shy, at least be upfront with the people, yeah, about the fact that they can, if they know better, a most optimal path to the obelisk, mark them with a marker and ask them to lead. You will naturally need to clear the mobs right outside the obelisk so that you can safely click on it. You make sure everyone is ready as a tank and you click on it. Normally tank does it. So you pull the mini-boss, there is a mini-boss, you enter that area, the shadow realm, and there is that mini-boss you can attack them. You then immediately start dragging them basically along the path of your choosing towards where you want to be, where you want them to die, basically. Once they die, they open a shadow portal back to the real world. Once it's safe, mini-boss is down, their ads are down, you click on the portal and you jump out to deal with the rest of M+ that you are running. Don't be a noob like me, and thanks again, Chewy, for your patience with me, mate, for being patient with me. And once the mini-boss is down, click on the portal and get back out into the normal world of Mythic Plus around you once, once it's safe. Otherwise, your teammates will immediately do that because they know what they're doing, usually, assuming that you also know what you're doing as a tank, and it'll take you more than a couple of moments. Well, it did take me more than a couple of moments, like in a couple of very awkward moments within this dungeon, to figure out why I can't see any enemies around, yes, but the health of my friends seems to be going down and they're dying. Right? Well, it's because they are outside already, fighting with something that you simply cannot see. They are in parallel reality to you. As I said already, haven't done enough of higher ranks of Mythic Plus to be certain here, but in Atal'dazar plus 10, which is what I've done, there were two of the most important and most challenging mini-bosses. Well, you need to kill all of them in my opinion, you need to clear all obelisks before engaging with the final boss, but these two you need to be aware of the most as a tank. One first tough obelisk mini-boss is called Void Weaver Malthea. It's the spider. First of all, the spider hits like a truck, at the very least that's my experience with them. They summon explosive scarab ads who need to be killed ASAP, that's DPS's job, but your job is to kite this spider around, try to taunt, try to make sure that spider stays on you, don't stand in any bad stuff that is inevitably going to be spawning under everyone's feet, yeah, because that's not the only affix in Mythic Plus that you're dealing at rank Mythic Plus 10. And don't forget, obviously, to pull the boss again somewhere where it's safe for that boss to die and open the portal for you so that you jump back out into the world and don't immediately get wiped out by a metric ton of mobs standing outside the normal world. Yeah. Second tough mini-boss that is apparently fairly famous, but we only had issues with this boss because we decided to skip the spire, skip the obelisk, and we actually thought we'll take our chances. And me and my group, Chewy's group, we thought that we are going to engage with the final boss of Atal'dazar, allowing for this missed last mini-boss from Obelisk, from Shadow World, to join us in that fight. And at first, I think our very first attempt on the boss was the best one, but then people started dying. We had like wipes and maybe 3, maybe 4 attempts, I can't remember, with those two. after that we just said enough is enough, guys. Let's just clear out, let's spend more time. We already haven't beaten the timer. Let's clear out the path towards that obelisk. Let's deal with the mini boss. Let's go and deal with just the final boss alone, because it was just a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So that final mini boss is called Blood of the Corruptor, or more commonly known as the Blob. The Blob leaves pools of highly damaging AoE bad stuff, so you undoubtedly as a tank need to pull it, keep it on yourself, attracted to you, need to kite it around, not too quickly though, as it drips that bad stuff slowly from what I've seen. So you need to move back a bit, wait for it to start dropping the bad stuff, then you move immediately. Obviously don't stand in it, but don't move too fast. If you move too fast, you're potentially going to run out of space not covered by the bad stuff, so you will just basically occupy too much space with those drippies from the blob. So pace yourself, give your people space to move, basically. Don't occupy it all with this goo, whatever the right term is that they're leaving behind. I would say be prepared to die a few times before you'll work it out, before you'll work out where the obelisks are, what the defensives you need to use on each of the boss. I think you need to accept that as potential source of frustration for your teammates and for yourself while you're learning the ropes, if in fact you are after higher, I suppose, I don't know, higher item levels of trinkets, higher item levels of weapons, because why else would we at this stage of the game push higher ranks of Mythic Plus? As I speculated in my other videos where we talk about gearing, where we talk about choices of classes and etc., I'd say Mythic Plus is way too painful and doesn't, so basically the rewards that you get from Mythic Plus these days, before Shadowlands launches at the very least, I don't think that they compensate the complexity and the frustration that a casual player deals with when they have to be in this impatient, highly challenging, high pressure environment, social environment. So I don't actually think that Mythic Plus 10, with the amount of effort that you need to put in, is like adequately geared, so rewarded for the amount of effort that you expected to put in. That is obviously just my casual subjective opinion. I know some people like a challenge. I like a solo challenge as well, as you know, but there is still common sense that drives me away from excessive stress, and that's why I stop myself at a certain key level in, let's say, Horrific Visions when I clear those solo. Same logic I apply for Mythic Plus, but I do wish you luck, guys, and I hope this was somewhat helpful for you. If it was, please show your support. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel and don't be shy. Let me know what else interests you in this period of time leading us towards Shadowlands. We're obviously not there yet, but we are going to be very, very soon. So in the meantime, if I can be of any assistance to you, because a lot of stuff interests me, but also suggestions of the content are most welcome from you, my friends. And as my channel shows you, there is proof that people came up with really interesting questions that prompted me to go explore and then post a video that a lot of other people seem to have liked. So that's most welcome as well. I'll be talking to you very soon. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I wish you the pleasant rest of your day. See you later. Bye.